Do you feel like you're studying too much but not getting the results you want? It's a common problem, one that strikes at the heart of our educational culture. We've all been told that the more we study, the better we'll do. But is that really the case? Imagine this. You're sitting at your desk, textbooks and notes scattered around you. The hours tick by as you pore over page after page, trying to cram as much information into your head as possible. Sounds familiar, right? But here's the problem, your brain isn't a hard drive. It doesn't just store information indefinitely. Instead, it's more like a muscle. It gets tired, it needs rest, and it performs best when it's exercised in the right way. So what happens when you overstudy? Well, you risk burning out. Just as an overworked muscle can strain and tear, an overworked mind can become fatigued and less effective. You might find yourself reading the same paragraph over and over, unable to comprehend or retain the information. You might lose focus, become easily distracted, or even start to dread studying altogether. That's not a productive learning environment, is it? And here's another thing. Overstudying doesn't just affect your mental health, it can impact your physical health too. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and limited physical activity are all common side effects of spending too many hours hunched over a book. In the long run, this can lead to serious health problems. So, instead of focusing on quantity, let's shift our attention to quality. It's not about how many hours you put in, but how you use those hours. It's about studying smarter, not harder. It's about understanding the material, not just memorizing it. It's about engaging with the content, asking questions, and making connections. That's how you truly learn. But don't worry, there are methods to study smarter, not harder. Let's explore them. Have you ever heard about efficient studying? It's a term that's gaining momentum in educational circles, and for good reason. Efficient studying is not about cramming information into your brain, nor is it about spending countless hours buried in books. Instead, it's about maximizing your learning during the time you spend studying. So, what exactly is efficient studying? Picture it like this. You're running a marathon. You wouldn't want to exhaust all your energy at the beginning of the race, right? You'd pace yourself, distributing your energy evenly to ensure you reach the finish line in the best shape possible. That's what efficient studying is. It's about pacing your learning, ensuring you absorb information at a steady and consistent pace, rather than trying to cram all at once. The benefits of efficient studying are manifold. First and foremost, it improves comprehension. When you're not rushing through study material, you have the chance to truly understand what you're learning. You can make connections between different concepts, visualize the information in your mind, and ask yourself questions to deepen your understanding. Another significant benefit is improved retention. Our brain is not designed to retain vast amounts of information in a short period. It needs time to process and store new information. By studying efficiently, you're giving your brain the time it needs to commit what you're learning to long-term memory. You're essentially helping your brain to encode the information more effectively. Finally, efficient studying means less time spent on studying. Yes, you heard that right. By studying smarter, not harder, you can actually reduce the amount of time you spend hitting the books. This frees up time for other activities, whether that's pursuing a hobby, spending time with friends and family, or simply getting a good night's sleep. So, we've talked about what efficient studying is and why it's beneficial, but how exactly do you study efficiently? That's a question we'll answer in the next few scenes, where we'll delve into some effective methods of efficient studying. Now let's delve into some effective methods of efficient studying. One powerful technique to study more effectively is spaced repetition. This isn't just a fancy phrase, it's a scientifically proven method designed to boost your memory and learning efficiency. Spaced repetition is all about timing. It's about studying information just at the point when you're about to forget it. So what's the science behind it? Well, our brains are wired to forget things. It's a natural process, but it can be a real hindrance when we're trying to learn. The concept of spaced repetition leverages the way our memory works by reintroducing information at strategic intervals. These intervals increase each time the information is successfully recalled, making the memory stronger and more durable. Imagine you're trying to learn a new language. You learn a new word today. If you review it tomorrow, you might still remember it. But if you wait a week, chances are you'll have forgotten it. That's where spaced repetition comes in. You review the word after a day, then 2 days, then 4 days, and so on. Each time you recall the word, you're essentially resetting the forgetting clock. This helps to cement the word into your long-term memory. Now, how do you incorporate this into your daily study sessions? It's simple. Start by breaking your study material into smaller chunks. Then study each chunk at increasing intervals. You might start by reviewing a chunk after a day, then every 2 days, then every 4 days, and so on. The trick is to review the information just before you're likely to forget it. And remember, the goal isn't just to memorize information, it's to understand it. So take the time to engage with the material. Ask yourself questions, draw connections, make it meaningful. Spaced repetition isn't a magic bullet, it requires commitment and discipline, but the payoff is worth it. You'll find that you're retaining more information, understanding it better, and yes, studying less. But that's not the only technique. Another one to consider is using flashcards. Flashcards, a timeless tool, can also supercharge your study sessions. Now you might be thinking, flashcards, really? Isn't that for elementary school kids? But hear me out. Flashcards are not just for learning the alphabet or multiplication tables. They can be used for any subject at any level of education, and they have some profound benefits. One of the main advantages of flashcards is that they promote active recall. When you look at the question side of a flashcard and think of the answer, you are engaging in active recall. You're not just recognizing the information, but you're pulling it out from your memory. This process strengthens your neural connections and helps you remember the information in the long run. Another benefit is that flashcards utilize the concept of spaced repetition. When you practice with flashcards, you end up reviewing the ones you struggle with more often. This method, combined with the active recall, can significantly improve your retention of the information. So, how do you create effective flashcards? First, keep them simple. One question, one answer. Don't try to cram too much information on one card. Second, make them specific. Instead of asking, what is photosynthesis? Try asking, what are the 3 main steps of photosynthesis? This way, you're forcing yourself to recall more detailed information. Lastly, include a mix of easy and challenging cards. This will keep your confidence up while still pushing you to learn more. Remember, flashcards are not about memorization, they're about understanding. When you're making them, don't just copy from your notes or textbooks. Try to put the information in your own words. This will help you understand the material better and aid in long-term retention. And one last tip, don't forget to shuffle your flashcards. This keeps your brain on its toes and helps avoid the illusion of competence where you think you know the material because you memorize the order of the cards, not the actual content. These techniques can transform your study sessions, but remember, the key is consistency. So, grab some index cards and start making your flashcards today. You might be surprised at how much they can help you study less but better. So, how can you study less but better? Let's start by summarizing the key points we've discussed so far. We've debunked the myth that more study time equals better understanding. Instead, we've advocated for efficient studying, absorbing more knowledge in less time without burning yourself out. We've explored the concept of spaced repetition, a technique where you review information at increasing intervals. This method takes advantage of our brain's natural patterns of memory decay and reinforcement. It's a powerful tool, helping you retain information for longer periods. We've also delved into the use of flashcards, a practical and versatile tool for active recall. By forcing your brain to retrieve information, flashcards strengthen your memory paths, making it easier for you to remember things. Now, how can you implement these strategies? Start by integrating them into your study routine. Dedicate specific times for spaced repetition and flashcard sessions. But remember, studying is not a marathon. Regular breaks are crucial. They give your brain time to process and absorb the information you've learned. Also consider adopting a balanced lifestyle. Maintain a healthy diet, exercise regularly, and get enough sleep. Your brain is an organ, and like any other organ, it performs best when it's well-nourished and well-rested. Don't be afraid to experiment. Every person is unique, and what works best for one person might not work as well for another. Try different methods, tweak them as you go, and find the strategy that works best for you. And finally, remember to keep your goals in mind. Are you studying to pass an exam, to gain a new skill, or perhaps just for the sheer joy of learning? Whatever your goals are, let them guide your study methods and keep you motivated. Remember, the goal is not to study more, but to study better. So, give these techniques a try and see the difference for yourself.